100% viewership, but no one in the live chat, which is your choice, obviously, but the live chat is where everything goes down. It's where we brainstorm, it's where we collaborate. So if you're viewing because of a mistake, just make sure that you click on the top link that Dan posted in the Facebook, and we will have this live discussion. All right, so this is going to be a fun week. We are going to focus on the little things that make a world of difference for the October campaigns. A very important week. This is what really makes or breaks the success, are the insights that we're going to share today. You'll see when we dive into the fearless strategies, we break everything down into the chocolate on the pillow, which is like little things that you can do that actually make a world of difference, and then how to close, because it's one thing to host a wonderful event. It's another thing to host a wonderful event that actually grows your business, and we want to make sure that's what's going to happen. But before we do that, let's go into some updates. At this point, you may have already seen that we've added 4 new campaigns to the Synduit dashboard in the event library section. And this is how we're going to be doing it on a going forward basis, is that when we're done, we'll probably add 4 or 5 at a time, just depending on how quickly they get done. If you saw the other day, we posted a list of all the campaigns that are in queue, which are subject to change, but as of right now, this is what we are working on. There are absolutely fantastic ideas. I mean, I'm just so enthusiastic about what the team put together when it came to all of these campaigns. And check out these new 4. They're awesome. One is called the Healthy Holiday Grubathon. One is a teleseminar, a webinar on how to create a healthy holiday season. One is called Pay It Forward, and another one is called All I Want for Christmas. So these are fantastic holiday-themed campaigns, and there's more to come, so stay tuned with that. In addition, we are aggressively working on the War Room training. A number of you have reached out and said this will be a huge value. Our goal is to get this to you toward the middle to the end of November, so that you're able to host your War Room around the 1st or 2nd week of December and plan out all of 2015. Imagine what it's going to feel like to enter into 2015, January 1st, not only with a marketing plan, but a plan that has already been implemented for you, where all you now need to do is just show up. I mean, that's a completely new way of running a business, and that's going to be fantastic and exciting for you. Dan posted a question in the Facebook group, and I really encourage everyone to jump in on this question. And there's always a method behind our madness, so just recognize that. But what he posted had to do with, what do you want to learn? If we were to sit down as these fearless marketers that are here, that really understand the chiropractic profession, what is something you want to learn? What is something you want to master? And he posted this because we want to give more value to you, and the only way we can do that is if you respond. So really think about it. What's an area where you feel there's a void in your practice at the moment? What does it look like? Maybe it's hiring. Maybe it's doing screenings. Maybe you don't know how to host an effective workshop. Maybe you have no clue what you're doing with teleseminars. Maybe you don't know how to ask for a referral. But begin to post some concepts where you feel like you're stuck, and then we're going to create a blueprint training around that, because that'll be a huge benefit to you. So please take advantage of that. In addition, Daniel, something you want to say?
No. Okay.
Okay, cool. In addition to that, I posted a video, and this video was actually a discussion that our team had for, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then we had one of the tribe members, one of the chiropractors in the tribe, Dr. Schroeder. He posted about this, and we were all like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, he must have heard our meeting, because we've been talking about this in great detail. And the reason it's come up recently more than ever before is that we live by this philosophy of whatever it takes, and we told you that we're going to have 1,000 chiropractors by the end of this year. And we're going to do whatever it takes to get there. And the team has been doing some outbound for the first time ever. I mean, in 3 years, we did no outbound sales, no cold call, none of that. And we said, why not? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do. What can we muster up? We've already built a reputation and a brand for ourselves. We do very effective education and relationship-based marketing. What if we just followed up with calls? And we started to do that. And the feedback, some of it was positive, which was great. We had more chiropractors joining the tribe. But there was an overwhelming response of chiropractors who said, well, I don't really need to market. And it blew our mind. We're like, what do you mean you don't need to market? Some of these businesses didn't even have a website. Like, that's how much they weren't doing this. And that is such a hindrance to the world, the fact there are chiropractors out there that do that. Because those are also the chiropractors that tend to complain about John Doe who goes and get a flu shot, or Mary who has their child vaccinated, or Bob who's going to take antidepressants, or Jane, who's in pain and taking pain medication. They don't even know that you exist, and that's why they're doing it. And that's the beauty of marketing. Marketing creates awareness, marketing creates relationships, marketing leads to an educated audience. But if you're not doing it, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, because all of you are, but this is the profession. We all talk about moving the profession forward, and there's no way that's going to happen if there's a very large percentage of the profession who doesn't believe they need to market, or isn't marketing for whatever reason. They're afraid, like what Dr. Schroeder mentioned. So what we encourage you to do is what Emil Tompkins already did, and record a 1 to 3 minute video based on why do you market? Like, why do you do it? Like, why is marketing so important for you? This is not a testimonial. You don't have to mention our name, but tell your profession, the chiropractic profession, why you're doing this in the first place. We'll worry about getting this out to the masses. You just record the 1 to 3 minutes, post it on the Facebook fan page, and then we'll do the rest. But please take this exercise seriously, because it's your profession, and your profession needs to have compliance when it comes to the importance of marketing, and I really believe it's going to come from people like you who are sharing why you're doing it in the first place. So please make sure that you record that video. The final weekly update is, at this point, you should either have already done so or will be doing so this week, integrated your Facebook and your Twitter. It's super easy. I mean, we've had dozens and dozens and dozens of officers just do it for themselves, which was great. A few people got stuck, and we were able to jump in and help. If you are stuck for whatever reason, the only way we're going to know is if you tell us. So just shoot us an email. We're happy to get involved. But otherwise, there is 2 videos, one for integrating Facebook and one for integrating Twitter. They take you through the step-by-step. They're like 3 minutes each. It's really easy. Just follow the steps, and then what you're going to see is the dashboard becomes even more valuable for you, because it will automatically post on your Facebook and Twitter accounts. You can always edit those posts if you want to. You can always unschedule them if you want to, but otherwise it will automatically post for you. So Dan, why don't you do some last-minute tips for September campaigns, since we are focusing on the little things that make a world of difference.
Yeah, so this week we focused on the little things that make a world of difference, and it really seeps into people's minds at this point in the month to kind of start focusing on next month, or most of the momentum from this month's campaign is over, so let's just move on and start focusing on the next thing. But that's a mistake. We've seen a lot of people do one of 2 things. They either start focusing on the next month and kind of just put the past month to the side. If they were running a referral campaign, they'll just stop working at it. They'll stop talking about it with people who are coming in, when in fact that's the most important time to start actually pushing forward. And then there are the group who actually do push forward, and they start talking about it. They keep talking about it until the end of the month. And the funny thing is that when people come into your office, maybe somebody comes into your office twice a month, every 2 weeks, and the first time that they come in, you tell them about the referral campaign, and maybe they got an email before that, they're familiar with it, but maybe they're just not in the mood to engage with it. If they get another email after they go home, and then they come back in 2 weeks later, and the same initiative is going on, that's momentum. And if your staff is talking about it, and if you're talking to them about it, and you're encouraging them, that momentum builds on itself, which is why we have so many people find that if they're running month-long referral campaigns, or if they have a workshop at the end of the month, that they get the most engagement at in that last mile, so to say. So if you have that thing happening at the end of the month, or you've got the referral campaign, keep pushing forward, because you're going to get a great response in that last week. We had one patient, or one client about 2 months ago, who got 17 new patients in the last week of their referral campaign. And that was like double what they had gotten over the course of the entire campaign up until that point. So you want to keep in mind that people are cognizant of that momentum effect, and they're paying attention to what you're doing consistently. When you do something over the course of time consistently, you're always talking to them about it, and not in their face, but it's there for them. They know about it. They know that it's happening, and you let them know, and you invite them, and you share what's going on. Then they're going to start establishing trust in that event. And when you're able to establish that and build that momentum up, people are going to be very receptive to it. So that's what I would recommend for you guys to really pay attention to right now. as we end near the end of the month of September. Really push forward. Just make sure that you tap into that momentum and say to people when they come in, like, we're still running this. We would love for you to get involved. It's only going to be available for the next 8 or 9 days, so get in while you can. And that's going to have a really significant effect. So try it out. Speak to your patients, and you're going to have a great result from that.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's just so important. We talked about it last month a bit. It's just it's so critical to end strong. It's just such a difference maker. And what it is, we see it across the board. We have some offices that are enormous. I mean, from the volume that they see, millions of dollars a year they generate. And they impact thousands upon thousands of lives, and they work until the last second of the month, and they see those campaigns to fruition. And maybe the month started out slow because there was a holiday or something, and that does not interfere with what they're looking to achieve. And we encourage this to be something that just kind of filters across the board. It just spills over to all of you. Finish the month strong. These campaigns, if they're a month-long campaign, like Dan said, they are built for the month. They're not built for the first 2 weeks. They're built to carry out throughout the entire month, and as long as your energy is high throughout that month, you will see enormous success as a result. So a great job with that, Dan. It's wonderful. So let's now dive into a recap from our last call. Communications, always fun. We dove into communications. We shared a mind map with all of you. This happens to be one of the trainings each month where you really should go through it as a team, because whatever campaign you're doing, you want to make sure that you profiled your audience in advance, so that in turn when they walk in, you can empathize with them. Like, you can literally say, like, Mary, I know how you feel. I totally get it. And we're going to talk more about today, like how to close. But I know how you feel. Others have felt the same way. But what we have found here is the following. And when you can walk in someone's shoes and they say, oh my, Dr. Jed gets me, like, that makes a big difference, because now they feel that they're understood and they want to continue to do business with you. So just dive into that training, because this is something that we laid out for all 6 of the campaigns. We also always introduce the importance of engaging people on an emolectual level. And if you don't know what that is, I encourage you to go into the Synduit Academy, go to marketing training, and then type in emolectual. That's E-M-O-L-E-C-T-U-A-L, and you're going to see there's a video that's probably around 30 or 40 minutes long, and a special report that walks you through how to achieve this. The goal is that you truly engage someone both emotionally and intellectually, which is why you're able to move them forward. Some other little things that we mentioned is the importance of looking people in the eyes when you're speaking with them. We find that often, and especially with what we're going to talk about today with closing, we often find that small business owners in general, they get uncomfortable at that phase of closing, or even like inviting someone to an event. There's like this fear that they might say no, and as a result, you look down or to the side. Look them right in the eyes. Their eyes are a window to their soul, and that's where you want to penetrate. You want to penetrate their soul so they feel understood, and then they make the decision that you know is best for them, and they begin to recognize it's best for them. But look them in the eyes. It sounds so simple, but it's also so critical. The other piece is to be prepared in all environments. I mean, what we've seen is that sometimes chiropractors are very comfortable in their office when it comes to inviting people to campaigns, but once they step outside the office, they lose that level of comfort, and then as a result, they don't engage people. They're not on the line at the supermarket inviting people to whatever campaign they're offering. So just be ready to communicate anywhere and all of the time. And then in addition, and this is the beauty of planning out into the future, at your campaign, if it's a workshop or patient appreciation day, or whatever it might be in your office, pitch the next campaign. Like, you know what you're doing. You have the ability to plan out all the way into the future. Make sure that you're planning out campaigns and then introducing them at each one of the existing events, because you have a captive audience and you can truly strike when the iron's hot. And the final concept to embrace is to enter the conversation your patients are having. So that's the key. What conversation are they having? That's empathy. Enter that conversation and you will truly be able to move them. Some reminders for the week. We have our normal Business Pros on Wednesday. Dan is going to lead an awesome program here. It is how to write killer emails. So this is really a fantastic program. He was sharing some ideas around this. So make sure that you show up for that one. And then the timeouts, which is the conference call for your staff. is focused on tools to make technology work for you. This was actually requested from one of the staff. They reached out and they said, do you guys have any suggestions on how we can use technology to benefit us instead of creating headaches? And we have a very tech-savvy team here, so get ready for that one. In addition, send all questions to support@synpractic.com, whether it's website related, whether it's marketing related, whether it's SYNMIND related, whatever you need. If it's dashboard related, email support@synpractic.com. The team is ready and raring and waiting for you. And then we are starting to post all recordings in the Synduit Academy. So the SYNMINDs, the business pros, the timeouts, we are going to be driving you into the academy because we want to get you acquainted to logging into your dashboard, clicking on the academy, and then searching for whatever resource you need. So all of the training videos for the campaigns, if you notice there's 4 new campaigns in the event library now. We're going to keep on adding more as they're finished every couple weeks. But those campaigns have a preview video, which you'll see when you click preview, but they also have a training video, which is in the marketing training section. Just search the name of the campaign and then that video will show up. So get accustomed to going to the Synduit Academy. That's where everything is archived for you. And keep on using Facebook. I mean, this probably was the most active week yet when it comes to people sharing ideas and wisdom and even struggles, and then having everybody kind of work together to help individuals overcome some of those struggles. So really great job, and continue to use the Facebook. It is a wonderful community.
And with the replays for the business pros and the timeouts calls, we're actually going to be moving those. They're already in the academy right now, but I know a lot of you have been using the /replays page for the SYNMINDs and the /business pros and /timeouts pages on the website. So we're actually moving all of the new recordings over to the academy. So those pages will be updated to direct you, to your dashboard of where to find them and all. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that we're going to be transitioning over to the dashboard interface for all the replays for everything that we do. So it'll all be in one place.
Awesome. So with that, why don't you run with some of the universal little things, Dan, that would apply to all of the campaigns before we dive into the fearless strategies.
Yep. So the universal little things are, as the name suggests, universal. They can be applied to any of these campaigns that we're about to talk about. The first thing that we always say is to, if you've got like an event, so a workshop or teleseminar or patient appreciation day, reach out a day or two in advance and let the person know that you look forward to them coming. Give them permission to invite their friends so that they know that they can reach out and bring 2 or 3 people who maybe want to experience the office and meet you. So give them that permission. Let them know that you're looking forward to having them, so they have that commitment and they have that reiteration of commitment to actually come to the event. The next thing I would say is to have some kind of surprise giveaway at the end of the workshop or a surprise promotion at the end of the teleseminar, so that when people come, you're delivering some goodwill. And the concept of goodwill is that it's value that is above and beyond what they came to with an expectation of. So if they come to the teleseminar hoping for the 7 secrets to a healthy life, and then at the end of the teleseminar, having delivered that already, you deliver something above and beyond, saying, if you come into the office in the next, week or so, and you mention this teleseminar, you can get X, Y, or Z, or you can be entered to this raffle, or whatever. If you deliver something that is, that instills some goodwill and delivers some value that people didn't expect, then they're going to be more likely to, number one, come to another event, so a teleseminar or workshop or patient appreciation day or whatever, but also they attribute that goodwill to your office and to your brand. So they trust you more, and they look forward to whatever you're putting on, in the coming weeks or months. So that's a really important thing to do. It's a nice gesture, and at the end of a workshop, we sometimes say have a sample, a good book that you've read that you can give out and have a save the date or a coupon in the front cover with a short message. Those are things that people really, really love. It doesn't take much more time on your end to set it up, but it's an above and beyond kind of gesture that people will love. The next thing is to target the right people. We've introduced this concept before, but you are the one person in the office who knows the patients coming in and out best. You understand their challenges, you understand what they've gone through, what their goals are, so you are the person to make that recommendation for whatever event would be best for them, or whatever teleseminar or workshop is going to benefit them most. This is especially true if you're holding multiple campaigns in a month. So check whatever you believe is common sense for them to actually come to. If you have a weight loss teleseminar and you've got a family appreciation day of some sort, and you know that they've got 3 kids at home, recommend that they go to the Family Appreciation Day. That's something that would be right up their alley. Don't just say we're having all this stuff this month, come to everything, because they won't. 100% I will tell you they will not. But if you make a really educated recommendation and suggest that they go to something that they would benefit from, they're going to have a much better response. They're going to be much more likely to show up, and they'll be grateful that you took the time to think of them and recommend that for them. And then the next couple of things I would say, like we said before, finish the month strong. Make sure that you guys have that momentum. You're keeping up the pace for the last week. We've got a lot of people calling and writing and saying, this has been the last week of the month has been the most successful for us. So keep that momentum. It's going to be worth it. And do what other people don't really think to do. That's a recurring theme here, but be creative, think outside the box, and you want to be bold and stand out from the crowd, because that's how people notice you. That's how you get people in the door, by doing stuff that other people don't do, by creating community initiatives and events and stuff that people want to actually be involved with and learn at. So just stay bold and do stuff that's outside the box. And then at the end of your guys' events, make sure that you remember to close. Make sure that you give somebody a call to action. We'll talk about that in a second for each of the campaigns themselves. But a lot of people will put on a workshop and deliver all this amazing value and then say, okay guys, see ya, and then that's it. People are sitting there waiting for the conclusion of the event, where you say, like, okay, now you have all this knowledge, now you have all this information, this is what you can now do with it, and this is how you can take it to the next level. And people look for that call to action. So remember to close at the end of it. And if you're comfortable, just mention that you do this kind of stuff and what you offer throughout the presentation itself. Doesn't matter if it's a workshop or a teleseminar or even just a regular conversation with somebody. You can sell yourself without coming off inauthentic. So we'll talk about that now in terms of how you can phrase these closes for each campaign. But keep that in mind as you're going through each of your events and each of your campaigns, because you can have that overarching theme of people wanting to take that next step. As they're learning, they're like, okay, this is awesome. What does this guy do for full time? How can I get involved? And if you just pepper those kinds of statements in throughout, people are going to be really engaged. So those are the universal things for all the campaigns that we're doing. So Jared, why don't we jump into the individual ones and start giving some chocolates on a pillow and art of the close moments.
Definitely, and what's important here, just if this is your first little things that make a world of difference, is that we break it into 2 sections. One is a chocolate on the pillow. So that's like a little thing that you can do that will go a very long way, and Dan will share some of those. And then I'm going to actually close. I'm going to pretend like I'm presenting or in your situation, and this is how I would drive somebody to take action. And I'm going to share different insights and ideas, and sometimes I'm going to be speaking as if I'm you, and other times I'm going to be sharing what I would say if I was you. But just really think this through. This is something you might want to watch again as you approach these campaigns, so that you can just knock them out of the park. So Dan, why don't you start with the chocolate on the pillow for the bang head here, which is the stress workshop.
Awesome. So the chocolate on the pillow is going to be, since this is a stress workshop, it's going to be a stress ball. But use this as an opportunity to really create an experience for somebody. And you can say, oh, it's just a stress ball, but you can actually do some really creative stuff for this. So have stress balls made. You can put your logo and tagline on it. And as people are actually coming in for their adjustment, when people leave the room and the next person's queued up to come in, have just put a stress ball on the table, you know, as they walk in, they see it, and if you really want to go crazy, and this would be really, really good, you can write a short note saying, hey, we have this upcoming workshop, thought you would love it, and then sign, you know, either the doctor's name or the CA's name or, you know, somebody in the office. So it's a personalized note with the stress ball, and just do that for everybody who comes in over the course of a day, and just see how that, you know, see what kind of momentum that creates. But the chocolate on the pillow itself, the physical object, is the stress ball. And you can have those, you can give them out as people are leaving, or you can put them on the table as they come in. That's what I'd recommend, since it would open up a conversation. You could talk about it throughout the adjustment.
Yeah, that's great. And one thing is, because I can hear some of you guys thinking this, where it's like, well, I don't know, that's going to create a logistical nightmare if the staff has to write a note for each person, or how are we going to do this? And there's a concept that we always discuss, and I'm going to share it once again, just because I think that's a great idea that Dan just came up with, and it's called this: don't allow logistics to rule anything in your life, but especially your marketing. And this is a philosophy that was shared to me by a gentleman named Joe Polish, who is a master of direct response marketing. And Joe started a group called the Genius Network Mastermind, which is a very high-level mastermind group, and it's quite an investment to be involved. And when he first started this, he needed to think of a creative way to get very, very high-level entrepreneurs to get involved. And this wasn't like a phone call or a cold call or just putting a letter in the mail. That wasn't going to get their attention. So what he did was he did something that sounded logistically undesirable, but now he has about 150 people in his group paying him $25,000 a year, and has built a brand for himself around this. What he did to get this started is he went out and he bought 100 coconuts, and on the coconut he put "Don't be a nut, join my group," and he sent this in the mail to 100 major players that are in the entrepreneurial space. And this is how he started the group. And if you think about that, that is completely logistically undesirable. Where do you find coconuts, like that many in one shot? How do you stick something to it? And then how do you send it in the mail? And because he was willing to not allow logistics to impact his marketing, he was then able to build massive momentum. So the same philosophy for you guys. If it sounds logistically undesirable, try to be creative and find a way to still employ it, because you're going to see that type of like little thing make such a world of difference. When it comes to
it could be as simple as just having the save the date card and a short post-it note saying, you know, hope you can make it, and then sign a name. You could make it is so simple, to like a 3-second process, and then put the stress ball on the table before people come in. Just, as long as there's that moment of connection.
Awesome, awesome. And then on the close side, so this is going to be after the actual workshop is done, or you're leading up to that close, that grand finale. And one of the things that I want you guys to think about, and we've started doing this on our side here now for a while, and it's been very effective, and I do it when I go and speak, is I don't wait until like the grand finale to close, because what happens is there's too much anticipation. Somebody's going to leave early thinking that it's done. It's going to throw you off your game. You're going to miss the mark. It's going to be over. You're going to go home to your significant other or your lover, and you're going to say, I can't believe it. I messed up the close again. And it doesn't have to be that dramatic. So instead, what I recommend that you do is you close in the beginning. You just get it out of the way, and you let people know that at the end of this workshop, I'm going to invite all of you to come into the clinic, and I'm going to invite you to experience a new patient exam and consultation, because I know that what I'm going to share in this workshop is going to ruffle your feathers a little bit. It's going to shock you. It's going to open up like a different way of thinking, and I'm doing that intentionally because as a society, we are too stressed. You go to work each day, and maybe you hate your career, or you go home, and maybe you hate your lover, or your children are driving you crazy, or you have financial stresses, or you're in pain, and you're living with an enormous amount of stress. And nothing is going to change if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, which is why at the end of this program, I'm going to invite all of you to experience what we have to offer at the clinic, and then you can then make a decision at that point whether or not you believe this is going to move you forward in the direction that you want to go. And then at the end, recognize where they are. Remember the power of empathy. Recognize this and say, I know where each one of you are at this point. I know how you feel. Other people, when they first entered our clinic, they felt the same way. They were stressed out, they were overworked, they were frustrated with life, they had no energy, they felt the same way. But what we have found is that once they started to live the chiropractic lifestyle, and they started to come in for regular care, they started eating well, they started exercising, they started controlling the space between their ears, all the things that we discussed in the workshop, their life dramatically improved. So my invitation to you is to schedule an appointment right now with Mary, she's in the back of the room, just for your new patient exam and consultation. I want to get to know you one-on-one so that together we can determine whether or not our office can dramatically improve the quality of your life. And that would just be an example of how I would close. If this is off the cuff, make it your own, but don't build up to this grand finale where you know that it's going to fall apart. There's this concept in internet marketing where all major launches fail, all of them. Think about Apple. I think it was last week. They did their big press conference, and the streaming video went down. Like, it didn't work. Like, whenever there's that much anticipation for anything, it never performs up to the level of anticipation. So if you're leading a workshop and you have 10, 15, 20, 30 people in the room, and half of those people are possible candidates for care, you're getting all emotional and excited for that whole experience, and you're waiting for that grand finale to close, and then you botch it because there's just too much pressure. Whereas if you start with the close, you plug it whenever it's appropriate throughout, all you're then doing is giving them an invitation at the end. All right, Dan, go for it for the 5 steps to overcome depression.
Cool. So the 5 steps to overcome depression obviously is a depression-based event, and when you are thinking about a chocolate on the pillow, I mentioned before, a really popular option is to have some sort of gift and some sort of giveaway at the end. And that's what we're going to do with this one. So at the end of this could be either a teleseminar or a webinar. At the end of it, you can invite somebody to come into the office to pick up a gift. Now, this could be something like essential oils or incense or meditation CDs or, guides to, taking a 5-minute break, in the middle of the day and clearing your mind. Anything that you really want that has to do with relaxation and kind of just finding peace and getting some quiet time into the day. Anything that would help them do that. That could be a gift, and you can mention at the end of the teleseminar or webinar that those on the call come in, mention that you were listening and that you are here to pick up, your gift. And it could be anything that you want. Like I just mentioned, if you guys need incense recommendations, ask Jared, because he's got some good stuff in his office that he burns and lights up the whole office with. It smells good. But use some of those gifts so that people at the end have some goodwill, right? You establish some real value, and people feel like you're going above and beyond for them. So that would be the chocolate on the pillow for the 5 steps teleseminar. Jared, you want to do the close?
Yeah, for sure. And there's been a lot of discussion in the group about teleseminars and webinars and what place do they play, what role, are people getting a large number of attendants, et cetera, et cetera. And of any marketing strategy that has the longest term value, teleseminar and webinars are that. So are they going to lead to an immediate influx of new business? No, they're not. We just have to face the reality. They will lead to some. We've had many, over the 3 years, we've had hundreds of chiropractors that have generated new business from it. But the real value has always been in having them archived on your website as a tool for you either to refer people to. Like if you're in a discussion with a mother who doesn't have their kid under care, you could say, oh, no, I actually did a whole teleseminar or webinar on this exact topic, and I would love for you to benefit from it. And then you go and you direct them to it, or you burn it on a CD and you give it to them, or something like that. But that becomes a huge resource for you. My stepfather's a chiropractor for nearly 40 years. And he's been with us for 3 years. And since I first started, he had no choice in the beginning. And he has done at least 15, maybe more, teleseminars. He has a whole audio library at this point. And it has become a magnet for new patients for him. Because people go, it's interesting, they download the resource, it's free, and they build a rapport with him and they come into the clinic. So this is another program just like that. And the close is also important here. In the beginning, you want to close once again. Same premise as the stress workshop, where you state, for those of you who are participating live in this teleseminar or webinar, or maybe you're going to download a recording after the fact, I want you to know that there's a chance that I'm going to expose you to material that leaves you with questions. Maybe for your entire life, you've suffered with depression, and you went down this path of medicine, and it's done nothing to move you to where you want to be. You're still depressed, you're still struggling, and you're looking for an alternative. Well, what I'm going to share today is an alternative. It's a different strategy, one that you probably have never been exposed to before. And with that, you will have questions, which is why at the end of this program, I'm going to invite anyone who would like to experience a new patient exam and consultation. I want you, that is available for you. I'm saying it in the beginning so that just in case you have to leave early for any reason, you know that you're eligible for this. Now go through the program, and then at the end, feel, felt, found. I know how all of you feel right now, because others that entered our clinic prior to getting involved, they felt the same way. They were overwhelmed. They were scared. They were down this path that medicine had to offer for depression, and nothing was really working. But what they found is once they came in for that new patient exam and consultation, which I'm offering all of you, their life dramatically improved. That was a catalyst for a change, which is why I want to extend that opportunity to you as well. And then you have them go and call the office or whatever your call to action is at that point. All right, Dan, chiropractic health and trivia night.
Awesome. So for the chiropractic health and trivia night, this is a really cool one since you can really make this campaign your own. But what I would recommend is that you all get custom game cards, and you can get these made that printed with your office name, and anybody in attendance can actually get a set of cards so they can play the trivia game on their own time. So they can bring it to their friends and their family, bring it to game night, and they could pull this out of their back pocket and say, like, guys, I've got a game that we can try. And that's your presence in a living room. How cool is that? So that's a chocolate on a pillow. Get one of those game cards. Get a card made with the questions, and give them out to people who are actually at the event or who are interested in coming as kind of just an extra thing for them to take home. And that's a great way to have that above and beyond gesture for this particular initiative.
Awesome, awesome. So that's a great one. I love that one. It's a great campaign. It's such a social campaign. I love the fact people are coming together. They're going to be educated. They're going to have fun. There's going to be laughter. So it's really just a fantastic campaign. And when it comes to the close, start with the close again. Like you are the game show host here. So in the beginning, you can say we are hosting this event because we wanted to connect like-minded people. We wanted to educate you so that you understand the importance of health and wellness and well-being. And we also want to invite you to experience our clinic because you're going to be exposed to new concepts tonight. You're going to be doing a chiropractic health and trivia night, and there's going to be some discussion around things that maybe it's your first time hearing it, and you're going to want some clarification, which is why at the end, I'm going to offer everyone here an opportunity to schedule a new patient exam and consultation with me. And if you're already an active practice member, we're going to give you a coupon that you can give to a person that you really care about. Because I'm sure at this event, you're going to start thinking of people that would love to be part of something like this, and I want to make sure that I have the chance to meet them. Go through the experience, then make sure that you close. This one in particular is a chance that you just have so much fun, everybody says goodbye and it's over. You're like, oh damn, I didn't remind them. Make sure that you go back to the close. You want to loop them back in here and state, like I said in the beginning, I'm sure there are many of you right now that you've been exposed to so much you don't even know what to do with it. So what I want to do is I want to invite you to schedule a new patient exam and consultation. Mary is in the back of the room. Please make sure you take advantage of this. We're going to sit down for 30 minutes. I want to understand how you're living your life, where you feel like you're struggling, and then together we can create a strategy for you to live with vitality, which is what tonight is all about. I look forward to seeing you soon, or however you want to say it at that point, but that would be how I would close. All right, Dan, let's do Halloween Harvest Hootenanny.
So this one's for the kids, really. The chocolate on the pillow here is geared towards the kids who are actually coming to this. So get some of those small pumpkins and have the kids decorate them, take them home with them, have some straw hats and fun Halloween gear so that then they can basically go home with a bunch of fun stuff to play with, and their parents are going to be happy that you included the kids and made it this social experience. The event itself is going to be a fun social experience just by its nature, but if the kids always have something to bring home with them, that's like the that's the cherry on top for them. And that's how they can kind of bring that experience home with them. So, and plus it becomes an anchor. When you bring the kids bring it home, the parents see it laying around, and they attribute that goodwill to your office. So have those little small pumpkins that the kids can decorate and bring home with them, and have some fun other Halloween decorations. Maybe, like I mentioned, the straw hats, little toy scarecrows, whatever you can find maybe at Party City, or something that kids will really enjoy bringing home. That'll be the chocolate on the pillow for this particular one. And once again, it builds some really good goodwill among your patients, because when they bring their kids, they're hoping that their kids are going to have a good time, and you're going to create an event that happens. And when they go home, kids all the time, they want to just have something in their hands and playing with in the car for the way home, and this is how you can provide that.
Awesome. And then on the close side, this is a fun social experience. You're probably going to have a number of mothers and their children come in. If I had to guess, maybe some fathers will join as well. But the key here is to really focus on that piece of it, the fact that you're connecting like-minded people, and talk about why you're doing this in the first place. So obviously you want to begin with the why, and you want to end with the why, and this is a campaign where you really want to focus on that. So maybe your why, and I'm just giving you an example of this, but maybe your why is something around the fact of we are driven to help create healthy families in our community. There are far too many parents that want the best for their child, but they just don't know what to do, which is why we host events like this and why we see so many children in our clinic on such a regular basis. And at the end of this program, for anyone here, this is your first time, I'm going to invite you and your child and your significant other to come into the office for a new patient exam and consultation so we can have some one-on-one time. I really want to understand how you're living your life, and then what we can do together to dramatically improve the quality of your life going forward so that you can raise a healthy family. And at the end, I'll make reference to this once again. And then at the end of the experience, don't let everybody just leave hugging and stuff. Just close it and state, like I said in the beginning, if this is your first time in the office, I want to give you this certificate. The certificate really means the world to me, because this is the catalyst for you to raise a healthy family. This event was fun, it was educational, but now it's time to get to business. And let's apply this to your life, which is why I'm inviting you into the office for a new patient exam and consultation. If you have been part of our clinic for a while, I'll also give you a certificate as well, and then give this to someone you care about, because you know what we're about, and we are here to serve you. And that's just an example of how to close. All right, Dan, end someone suffering.
Cool. So this is a referral campaign, and the chocolate on the pillow for this one is whenever somebody refers a new patient to the practice, take a picture with them and post it on Facebook, give them a shout out, and let people know that this person helped grow the practice and that they helped end someone's suffering. That's the whole idea behind the campaign. So make sure that you give a shout out to the people who are actually contributing to that. Whenever somebody refers, take a picture of them with them, in the office, and then post it on your Facebook wall, post it on Twitter if you've got a Twitter account, and really make it known that this is what's happening and why this is happening, and what campaign is behind this. You can link to the landing page in the post itself. So make that announcement known every time that it happens, and the more that happens, the better, because when people see it in their newsfeed on a consistent basis, then they start thinking, well, who can I get to, come to the office so I can get on the Facebook wall? That's what they start. Those are the thoughts that start going through their head. So that would be the chocolate on the pillow for this one. Really helps the referral aspect of the campaign itself.
Awesome. And then on the close side, this is a conversation you're going to have one-on-one. It's not a one-on-many conversation. And what you're going to want to really do here is quantify how many people you want to help who are suffering in the beginning of the month. So now would be the time to do it. So let's just say you want to help 30 people that are suffering. That's the dialogue you have with every single person who enters your clinic. So you say to them when they come in, obviously you've seen our office is decorated. There's posters everywhere. There's save the day cards. Our focus this month, our singular focus, is to help 30 people who are suffering so we can then transform their suffering to thriving. Who do you know that's suffering so that together we can make a difference? And then just pause and let them process what you just said, and then let them act upon it. and you'll see this performs very well. Don't talk yourself out of a quote-unquote sale. Let them process what you said, but quantify it from the start. All right, Dan, Healthy Little Pumpkins.
Cool. All right. So once again, this is obviously a focus on kids. So the chocolate on the pillow for this campaign is to put together a Halloween healthy trick-or-treat bag. And you can include some fun gifts and even partner with some local businesses so that they can sponsor those bags and put some stuff that they make into it. And give it to the kids and show the kids how you can actually have fun and be healthy at the same time. Parents love that. Parents love that, and when you are able to create something like that for the kids to take home, and it really creates some kind of connection with the parents actually encouraging the kids to have fun with Halloween stuff. It's a really healthy thing to do. So you could go to health food stores in terms of local businesses, karate studios, yoga studios, dance studios. You could go to the any kind of YMCA even and have them sponsor it, and give out the gift certificates in those bags, create some fun treats for the kids to bring home with them.
Awesome. And on the closeout, this is very similar to the Halloween Hootenanny. Same premise, like just start with the why. I mean, get to the root of why you're doing this, your desire to see and support more families, your desire to help children get on the right track from the start, your desire to transform people's lives in your community. So you want to start with the why and then let them know that at the end you're going to be inviting them into the office for a new patient exam and consultation, and then at the end close in a very similar fashion that you used in the Halloween Harvest Hootenanny, because this is another opportunity for you to drive people that are the right people into your clinic that will make a massive difference for you. So with that, let's now open up the floor to any questions. We always take the live people first. So if Dr. Brad, Dr. Jed, Heather, or Dr. Moulton, if you guys have any questions, this would be a chance to speak out. There was 4 questions that were emailed over from the support team that were submitted. So do you
Remember
guys
that you guys are on mute at the moment, so you have to unmute yourself.
So one of the questions that was submitted, we'll start here, is how do we create a marketing plan? That's a fantastic question. So what we're actually producing is we're putting together a war room blueprint, and this is more than just a blueprint. It's going to consist of videos. It's going to be documents that you can print out. This is such a valuable resource. The dashboard, which as you guys have already seen is extremely powerful, is a $2.5 million investment. This was because of a war room meeting where we sat down together and we just vision boarded this thing out, and now it's real. So we really know how to do that. So we're putting together a training that will teach all of you how to do it as well. In the meantime, pick marketing campaigns definitely for November. And we're going to have more campaigns posted within the next week or so, 2 weeks. That'll be extremely relevant for December. And then the goal is that the first week of December, you guys have a team meeting outside of your office where you conduct a war room and you plan all of 2015. Another question, let me see here. What am I doing wrong if I'm unable to close? That's a great question. So if I had to guess, because I don't even know who submitted that question, you're putting just too much of an emphasis on the close, and you need to not take yourself as seriously. There's no difference between hello and goodbye. It's just a word, and you're just attaching an enormous amount of significance to the close, so just don't do it. Don't take yourself that seriously, and instead recognize that you're just inviting people to change their lives, and who wouldn't want that? So to start this process, you need to dig extremely deep into your why, as in why you're doing this in the first place. Why is this so important? Why do you want to transform lives? Once you have crystal clarity of that, and you can communicate that, the close is easy, because who wouldn't want that if what you're focused on doing is transforming? So I know that was a short response. I don't really know what your challenge is outside of that.
A lot of other people have had the experience where they overemphasize any sort of question, and they interpret it as a rejection, and they interpret rejections as like a slap in the face. And the reality is that when somebody is asking you a question in response to one of your pitches, they're just asking a question because maybe they don't understand something. But a lot of people hear that and they think, rejection, 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 and they get overwhelmed, and they end up not even answering the question, but creating some kind of whole story and tangent around in response to that. So when somebody asks you a question in response to your pitch or your close, take it with an awareness of the fact that they're simply trying to have a better understanding of what you're selling.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really a great point. Another question that was submitted is, how do we use the Academy? The recommendation is that you, this would be the ideal world, is you allocate 30 minutes a week, and it would be great if everybody can do this, but at least you as a doctor, to get your marketing cap on, and you dive in there and you just watch something in that academy. I mean, some type of training. The key is this, and it goes back to our request of you guys to record a 1 to 3 minute video, which is really more to support you than anything else, which is why you market in the first place. But I really believe that the deeper that we've gone with this, and the more that we've spoken with chiropractors, there is such a distinction between you guys and the rest of the profession, and you guys being the tribe. You guys are thinking like marketers, you're creative, you're dynamic, you're high energy, and there is just a huge percentage of the professions do not. They don't think like marketers. They're operating from a victim mentality, even though they're telling their patients not to be victim with regard to their health. There's all these contradictions that exist, and you don't want to become like them. So the way that you just consistently create like this buffer for yourself is to just consistently think like a marketer. And diving into the trainings, whether it's the business pros, the timeouts, the marketing trainings, diving into that and spending about 30 minutes a week will benefit you immensely, because although we are doing so much of this for you, if you can think like a marketer, you will build relationships that didn't exist before, and you'll see your practice just take off. Dan, any other suggestions around that?
No, that hits on the big points. I mean, that is our overarching goal, is to basically create an environment where you guys are comfortable being marketers yourselves, and so you're aware of all the concepts that we introduce every time that we come on to SYNMIND, and we can build on it and build on it and build on it. The Academy's there so that you can actually dive in and either catch up on some concepts that you're not familiar with or have a weakness in, and build on the ones that you really want to build on. So is there for, and that's really the overarching goal of the Academy.
Awesome. And then the final question, which is a great question, when is the blog library coming? So what that is, just so you guys know, is in the blog section, there's going to be a library of blog posts like there are right now for the events, and initially we'll start with a few dozen, but eventually there'll be hundreds, and you'll be able to just click and post whenever you want. You can edit them, add your own context to them. There's going to be articles focused on personal development, on conditions, on health and wellness, on chiropractic. I mean, huge variety. It's already coded. We're just running it through testing, and we want to slow down the event library, so we push that forward. So within the next 30 days, that will also be made available. What you can do in the meantime is to submit blog content to support@synpractic.com, and we will add this to the library. And that's really cool for you, because if you think about it, there's a chance that your post could be seen by millions of people, and that's really an exciting opportunity. So please make sure that you submit any blog posts to support@synpractic.com. Are there any other questions? Those are the ones that were submitted to me.
I don't have any on my end.
Cool. So next week, we're going to just keep going full steam ahead with this, because we as you see, we have a lot of campaigns that we're producing. There's actually like 30 total that we're still installing, but 18 new ones that are going to be done within the next 4 weeks, and we want to make sure that there's trainings for each of them. So the SYNMINDs are going to take a little bit of a different fashion. Next week, we're going to start talking about external marketing for these 4 campaigns, and probably also dive into internal marketing, where we start merging things together, because there's going to be less campaigns that we're talking about, and we want to make sure that all of these trainings are available for you, so that as you're planning out your calendar, you have access to everything. So just jump on. Trust me, it will be worth it, but it will be external and possibly internal marketing for the 4 campaigns that we just posted. Some reminders. Remember that we did add 4 new campaigns, so just go check those out. There's a chance that the files and the sample landing pages are still populating on your site, so I would wait until tomorrow to actually check those out. We are putting together the War Room training, so just look for that. It'll probably come in the middle of November. You'll get access to that. Make sure that you respond to Dan's question on Facebook. where he's asking what you guys need. What are trainings that you would look for that would benefit you immensely? Please make sure that you record a 1 to 3 minute video on why you market in the first place. And if you have any trouble with the integration of social media, just reach out to support@sympractic.com. We are here for you. Let's do a little shout out to the Facebook participants. Dan, you want to run with that?
Yeah, sure. So everybody who has been active on Facebook, number one, thank you, because it's an amazing, the last 2 weeks or so have been really, really cool to see everybody jumping in on the conversation. So shout out to Emil Tompkins, Julia Kaiser, Kevin Korich, Mike Doty, Mike V, Patrick Kieran, Stephen Bordage, Jeff Schroeder, Brian Wills, Nick Weigel, David Foss, and Tim Mountain. So thanks, guys. Really appreciating the contribution there. The conversations are getting better and better.
Awesome. And then in closing, as always, we're going to end with a powerful quote. So click on my screen and you can see the image. And the quote is this: "Every day is an opportunity. Don't let a single one pass you by without knowing that you gave it your all every minute." And the reason we share this is because we are in that last week of the month. It's human nature to say, well, I gave it my all for the first 3 weeks. I'm just going to chill out now in anticipation of the next month's campaigns. I'm letting you know right now the difference between a practice that just absolutely thrives and impacts thousands of lives is they play out every single second of that month. So remember, every day is an opportunity. Don't let a single one pass you by without knowing that you gave it your all every minute. Go out there and rock it, everyone. If you need anything at all, please email support@sympractic.com. We are here for you, and we will connect with you next week. Thanks, everyone.
See you, everybody.